Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21 Career Mode. We're on episode 29. We continue on with the final stage in Algarve. It's the Portuguese tour and another sponsor objective. We have yet to complete one. We need to get a top 5 in this race as we go into this hefty Cat 2 climb. And the pace has suddenly lifted by Bora, so they are looking to split the field. We need to respond in kind. So far, so good on that front. This is going to wear out a lot of guys, though, like Isakov, who's on a poor race day condition, and Sato. Isakov hanging in there. He's having to work for Martin Guerrero, so it's making it that much harder. Martin Guerrero is the one who sits in 5th when we need that top 5. Punchy stage, I don't expect too many problems with it, but you never know. You never know. Jurcevic is way to the back of the group now. He is a puncher, so hopefully with a little punchiness here at the end of this climb, he will keep his position and not get dropped. Peloton was intact, all but one rider at the base of that. It's down to 112 now. Jurcevic does make it. Thanks to his poor race day condition, he is definitely not looking as good as he should, but, you know, he made it. We do need to get water one final time. Jurcevic making his way through. Sato still here. Sort of. We've got one more categorized climb, a Cat 3, and then a bit of undulation before we go into the final climb on this one. The final climb's not that big, not that long, not that major. Martin Guerrero is looking pretty good. Gonzalez Albiol is looking pretty good. Roman is looking pretty good. Looks like that's going to be what we have, though. Definitely see some guys going the wrong direction. Oh, Roman is going the wrong direction too. He did not get water to the 2 liters, unfortunately. So big lift. That was our Cat 3 climb. And we have seen the field blow up now in kind.
The pack is putting the squeeze on the breakaway.
Jurcevic still there, but he's at the back. Roman has not been able to complete the water task, though he may yet get there. One lead-out rider makes this a little harder of a task, but you never know with a smaller peloton and heftier pace. There could be dropped riders, and some of the guys in front of us, like Filippo Ganna, aren't necessarily good climbers. They're good time trialists, so, or punchy kind of guys. So maybe, just maybe, something could happen with that. Jurcevic had recovered, but he's going back again. I want Gonzalez Albiol to be as fresh as he can to give us at least a little bit of lead out. Roman got dropped. Okay, he's out. We did not get the water. It's down to 6K. They're not whining, so we seem to be okay for that. And let's slow this down as we go prepare for the final climb. Last 2 riders of the break still up the road, but it's 20 seconds and they're falling apart. So their chances are slim to none. Who is the last rider? Bob Youngles. Good on him. Nice ride today. All right, so Gonzalez Albiol, done, unfortunately. So it's up to Martin Guerrero himself. 4K, I think that's good enough territory to gel up. Our big thing is we don't want to get dropped. I'm not necessarily thinking about winning the stage itself, but I am certainly thinking about not messing this up and getting screwed. And so here we go. Seagull, Cepeda, Elioti, Lopez, Trentin. There's that big move. Almeida trying to play this thing smart. You can see red bar wise, that's not hurting us too bad. We are a better climber than puncher, so it makes sense to be a little bit lower on the ratings. 900 meters now. Martin Guerrero pushing for the top. Can we find some space here? Can we get in between? Sprint it out now. Sprint! Where's your sprint, buddy? Everybody else is already out of the saddle and sprinting. It went down to slow-mo. Cepeda, Elioti, we're going to be in a good place here. Good place. Yates is up here. I do not see one key guy who's missing, and there's a gap. That is a gap. That is a gap. You saw it here. That's a gap. I better give that gap because that's not even. How far do we move up, though? I do not know. But we're moving up that order at least one place. Yeah. Martin Guerrero, a little slow on his acceleration, which makes sense. Base accelerations is 65. But That was a good result. Good finish. I think he could have maybe beaten Siegel. I don't think he's beaten Almeida, so he probably wasn't going to get a time bonus, but certainly no time gaps there at the front. It was the time gaps behind us. So let's see those results. What is the final standings? Or will it be... Okay, those two got a 5-second time gap. We got to 16 for Conrad and Knox, and then 20, then 37. Oh yeah, lots of time gaps. And the final results into the podium. 3rd place. Nice, not just success, but super success. Ghana goes from 4th down to 6th. We go from 5th up to 3rd. Excellent. We needed that so bad. We were in such a bad way after the first 3 objectives had all failed. Burlikov sets off. We're at the UAE Tour. It's already stage number 2, as stage 1 was a sprint stage. Our leader is Burlikov. Martin Guerrero is the other one with some potential, as we saw in that previous race. Burlikov, of course, is the better climber, so you figure he's going to have, the best chance at getting some type of result. But with this short time trial, it's only 12K, so it's barely more than a prologue. It's going to depend on how well Burlikov can do, but I just noticed he's on a +5 race day condition. Massively boosting his potential on a day like this. A 76 for his prologue, a 75 for the time trial, so a 76 essentially overall. 81 on the resistance is really going to give Burlikov a chance of a very competitive time. You can see at the first time check, he is currently 6th place, now 7th place overall, just a dozen seconds off the top time. Kikovici, Luko have both put in pretty solid times as we approach the line here with Burlikov pushing, and he is 6th at the line, just 23 seconds down. That is going to be competitive, so yes, we stick with Burlikov as our leader, even though Martin Guerrero hasn't even set off yet. Martin Guerrero is supposed to be on a +3 today, as he is fitness peak objective for this one, so we'll see how that works out as he gets that first turn. Luko still in the top 10 at this point, now just finally slipping out. Kikovici still in the top 25, so we've definitely figured out how to balance this and get the most out of a +5 for Martin Guerrero. Are you kidding me? +5 for Martin Guerrero. That is fantastic. He's looking at an 82 prologue. He'll be riding about an 82, and same for resistance, so he could be putting in a fantastic time himself. 4th, 5 seconds down at the midpoint. 5K to go. Yeah, we're looking really good for today. By the way, wardrobe change, because, moving into a house, buying a house, things happened. And you suddenly have to run errands that end up taking 4 hours, and you come back and it's too late to finish up your recordings. And then you just move on to the next day. All right, Martin Guerrero coming up on the line, a little too hard. There we go, we just make it there. 4th place, 11 seconds down. That's really good. He's 1 second off of a podium spot at the moment. And, looking at Dennis and Leknasund, those guys aren't threats. So right now, in terms of climbers, Martin Guerrero's best off. Van Garderen's up in 8th, but he's not going to be a threat for a big climb. Ironsman, Burlikov still in the top 10. Right now, we are really the most highest placed. You're going to get some leaders coming across the line now, though, like Carlos Rodriguez. But how many of them are going to put in a time similar to what we've done? Right now, not much. Gino Mader's up there. He's a bit of a threat. He's not a great climber. Rubio. Fedorov. I'm really surprised where the times are. Oliveira is going to put in a good time, or put in a good time. Ruben Fernandez, I didn't see it, but it looked like a good time. Dang, we were very much at the bottom of the order in terms of Lopez just crossed Formulo. Evenepoel, of course, goes right near the top. He's going to be a threat. But for some reason, this race, unlike others, did not place us by team order, right? Team Z, and then Team Y, and then Team X, last rider, on down to first rider. They didn't do that here. You could see there's a ton of riders going after our final guy. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. And that's the circumstances, and we're in it. And we'll survive it. Martin Guerrero still 4th place. So he has not dropped his position at all. He's hung on to 4th. Meanwhile, the gaps to the others has opened. Like Berlikov is at 17th, but it's still 33 seconds down. That's still very competitive. Stage 3, 25K to go. A 10-kilometer climb at the finish line on this one, and then we've got a bigger mountain stage that's very similar in profile to this a couple stages from now. That's it. That decides the tour. But this is also our first and last opportunity on a couple of things. It's our last unrealistic objective. They want us to finish in the top 3 for this race, and it's a World Tour race. So all of the World Tour teams are here. Now, not every team brought their best GC guy, but every team, or most every team, brought a competitive, if not their best GC guy, making life very difficult for us. It is also the first of 4 straight 3.5 or 4-star objectives. So it's our first massive objective. It's also our last unrealistic objective, but it's not completely without possibility. And here's what I'm thinking is possible. We're the team on the back foot, right? We're the team that's going to have to defend and survive under normal circumstances. This is not normal circumstances. It's a 10K climb that is straight right until the finish line. It's very consistent on the elevation. It's pretty much straight up at 7%. So it's steep. So it's going to take a lot out of the legs of a whole lot of riders. It will blow up the field, even though it's one little climb. They haven't done anything all day and everybody's fresh. Just about. You can see a little bit of fatigue in the legs as we're catching the breakaway riders, which obviously there's a little bit of quality there that's made them not the easiest catch in the world. Now, here's our scenario. We have our 2 leaders. Martin Guerrero, +4 today, looking really good. 79 mountain for him, 80 resistance for him. And of course, he's got that 7th place, 14-second down thing. He could almost be the leader today. And that might not be a bad idea, because here's what we have with Berlikov. Now, Berlikov has terrible resistance. Okay, well, that's not terrible. He has bad resistance. 71 is not good. A -2 condition today gives him a -2 to the resistance, meaning it's below 70. He's got a 69. That's atrocious. So I see 2 possibilities, 2 outcomes that could work for us in this. We have Martin Guerrero, who has great resistance and could maybe hang on and survive and do well. And he's the most well-placed rider we have. And then we have Berlikov, who could just climb. In terms of base mountain rating, he's the highest one in the field. Nobody else has an 83 mountain rating besides Berlikov. But all the other competitors have high 70s for their resistance. So he might be able to climb fast, but he can't climb fast for long. 10K is not that long, so how is that one going to play out? Well, here's the thing. Hill rating's okay at 76, but it's not great. So if we push beyond an 85, he's going to get in trouble. I think, I don't know if it's going to pan out. We need a top 3, which is pretty unrealistic anyway. We might as well go for it, give it a shot. Here's what I'm thinking. Sprint train, Ineos, and or recently Jumbo Visma style. Push. We've got 2 strong climbers and a bunch of decent support riders. The only one who is not much of a climber is Jurcevic, and he's a decent puncher, so he can give us a quick start to this thing. But if we can get out front and control this thing in a line, control the tempo, burn through my guys one by one, and get down to my top two guys. If I can go 85 with Berlikov for a while, he's going to make everybody behind him work significantly harder to keep up. And he might just be able to drop the majority of the field. Will he drop everybody? Probably not. There's a few guys in this field that are crazy, crazy good, and I just don't see it actually panning out. Doesn't hurt to try, because the moment they take over, if we casually go up the first half of the hill conservatively, then you're not taking advantage of Berlikov's speed. So then when they accelerate and go harder and go punchy, his climbing advantage is ruined, because now he's going to have to push into that hill rating, which is going to balance out and just make him average, and then the low resistance is going to take effect. So I'm going to try to control and take advantage of what he has, which is he can climb faster than others, but at the right amount of effort. So 17k to go. We're going to go just a little bit further here. 16k, let's make it about 14. Okay. So, like I said, I don't actually expect that this is going to pan out, but our objective is pretty dang ridiculous, pretty far out there. And so I just don't necessarily see it going according to plan. So Luco I wanted next. Yes, Luco. And Rivera. And then Kyokovchi. And then Magisha, because of his stupid -4. He would have been good otherwise. And Yurcevic, because he really is the one. And of course he's the one behind. So accelerate at first and then get yourself out there, please. Thank you, Yurcevic. Good job making that happen quickly. And like I said, we need to get out front to control this thing. We're coming up on this sprint point. The breakaway has been caught. We're going to get 3 guys across the line first, getting 3, 2, and 1 seconds. That would matter if it weren't for the fact that we just came off of a time trial / prologue. Yurcevic, a little faster than I want to go at this point. Okay, 10k to go. You can see we're starting to ramp up. There's the 10k banner. It's going to ramp up here gently, but then we're already up to now 6% and counting. Now, as a guy who is not a good climber but is punchy, he has to go a little bit faster to get started. And you can see Hagita Bennett going on the attack anyway. So this is hurting Magisha, but it's not really hurting everybody else. Now, as for Magisha, he is a climber. So I think, actually for him, let's just push for a little bit. And Yurcevic try to set up a break toe situation. Okay, that's a couple leaders. We got to watch out for them. 7.5k. But Magisha climbing well at the moment. Get Rivera ready. Kikochi, I'd love to see... That's Pagacha already on the go. Jeez.
You see that?
Come on, guys. Okay, Kikochi can balance this out because he's a 73 and 73. Garcia, please tell me that the team is close. Yes, everybody's in place. Okay. Riders have pushed on beyond us, but I think ultimately things are going according to plan right now. Rivera, gel has kicked in. Kikochi doing well. Rivera, not so much. Is this a resistance thing? It is a resistance thing. He's still protecting, even though it's using up both of these guys. We're down to 4.5k, so it's time to start pushing a little bit more and making up the ground at the front. Meanwhile, our leaders are looking good. Okay, Kikochi done. Rivera, just give us a little acceleration. That's all you're good for. And then on to Luco, who is balanced. Luco's going to push, pull, get us moving. There's Berlikov, there's Martin Guerrero, there's 3k. And we've got 6 guys to make up some ground on. And right now, we're really pushing that tempo to make that happen. Luco is going to get us inside the final 2 kilometers onto Berlikov, who we want at the 85, just climbing the way he can climb. And what I wanted to avoid was having the crazy mix because once he starts pushing, he's no good until about 900 meters. Sprint it out and then set up Martin Guerrero as well. Pogacar went clear. He's gone ahead. Berlikov is going to get up into the top 5 for the stage. He should be close enough to get same time as Higuita and Lopez and Yates. And then Martin Guerrero also scoots up the order. So 5th and 6th on the stage. Pretty dang good. I mean, we just beat Bernal. We just beat Lopez. We just beat Schachmann. Mader. Bookman, Uran down in 19th. Evenepoel was 20th. So, yeah, that worked out. That did work out. It didn't result in a win. And Pogacar just off he went up the road. But, yeah, both guys in the top 6. Both guys still in contention. And remember, we had that previous stage where we have the time trial gaps. Considering Berlikov was on that -2. Luca really set that up, I think. Kikochi was okay, but yeah, it actually worked. Sweet. There's the gaps that are given. So Pogacar gets a gap, and then all of these guys end up on the same time at 37 seconds down, and then the next group starts at Mader at 56, but then the gaps do open from there. So current standings, Pogacar in the lead, Schachmann and Martin Guerrero on same time in 2nd and 3rd, both on the podium currently. Lopez 6 seconds down, Higuita just a little bit down, and Berlikov also in the top 10. So both of my 2 potential leaders in 3rd and 6th place couldn't have asked for much more than that, honestly. Considering that Pogacar is literally the only rider who gained any time on us at all, other than the bonus seconds to 2nd and 3rd. And they both fared well in the time trial, and they both fared well on this stage. We got one more to go to see whether we're going to hang on to a top position. We still have 2 leaders to go off of, depending on how that race day condition turns out. But yeah, I'm happy with things so far. Let's get into that stage 5. And inside 25K to go now on stage 5. Last 2 stages of this will be sprint stages, so this is it. This is going to decide the GC today. And with 21K to go, it's time. The strategy worked out last time. I'm going to try it again on this stage. We'll see if it pans out. It's different circumstances now, but Martin Guerrero doesn't have any bonuses today. Berlikov, again, a -1. However, he actually ends up, thanks to being on 99% fitness, +1 to his mountain. So actually, he's looking better than a -1 for sure. So he's the leader. Berlikov 2nd, and yes, that means we're ready for the guy in 6th place, not the guy in 3rd place, but this is a 18-kilometer climb this time at 6%, so it's only 0.7% below where we were last stage, but it's 8 kilometers longer, so it's quite long, and it's quite steady. It does not ease off for a sprint at the end or anything like that, so yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. Mugisha is the guy on form today to lead this thing out. And then we've got Kyokovchi and Luco. They are very, very similar. And then Rivera this time is the guy in poor form, where Jurcevic, again, we're going to use him primarily on the flat. He's in a better position this time, so he should be able to come forward quickly, use his gel right away, and let's go grab control of this race. Now, this time, pace is not going to be as bad going up the climb, but it still needs to be a pace that we can control it, because a lot of people are thinking longevity. Climb is nearly twice as long. In fact, that's the 20K to go point right there, and you can already see 2, 3, now 4. We're climbing. We are definitely climbing. And Jurcevic, yeah, no, he's okay at an 88. He's barely doing damage to his team, and it got us out front. There's the last 2 riders from the break. Coming back at them, and it's hurting some of the teammates, this pace, but it's not bad. 17K. Drop down just a little bit. Okay, they've been caught. Okay, and here comes others that are trying to do something about making a move or controlling the race. It means we're not as high up as we want or need to be, so Jurcevic is going to have to go a little bit harder. 15K to go.
There are just 15 kilometers left.
All right, on to Rivera. And now we're looking at a more balanced guy in Rivera. Jurcevic, go ahead and try to get onto the back end. We've got the left-hand side of the road, but we are getting swarmed in by the field at the moment. As we come up to this left-hander, we might have a little problem. So Rivera needs to try to speed things up a little bit and push into that gap. He didn't. And Lopez blocked us off.
And evolution doesn't seem to favor those in the rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
Nader on the attack. 12K to go. There's a lot of racing still to happen. Rivera's done. Glad I saw that just in time. I had not looked up there in a while. Okay, on to Luco. Luco is pretty balanced. You can see a lot of fatigue already in the legs of our teammates. So I think some of these guys are pushing a little too hard too early. The funny thing is I wanted it hard early. But that means that's really going to open the opportunity for somebody like us to come along and see some hurt in the legs. They're going for another attack. And it's still 10 kilometers to go. And these guys are mostly riding solo. I mean, you know, the team leader the whole team leader thing is not there. I mean, we're already down under 100 riders. Still in contact, yes, but this field's gonna blow up massively. I can tell already. Okay, there's Martin Guerrero. There's Burlikov. They're still there. They're still in range. They haven't been dropped or anything. Okay, that is not the first rider. Schachman went clear. I did not see that. He's sitting second overall, but I'm not necessarily thinking about those guys. Still thinking about kind of the overall, the long term. Okay, Mugisha really needs to back off here. There's Martin Guerrero finally coming through. Here's Burlikov. Okay, Burlikov needs to regain contact. He has. Now Martin Guerrero, his turn to continue on. 7.5K. 7.5K to go. We got 5 riders up the road that we are going to be in pursuit of, but Burlikov is going to do his thing here quite soon.
And off he goes. He's giving it one last go.
And here's his thing. Who can stay with him at an 85? That's a bit fast, though. It really is. Pagachu is definitely staying with him. I'd love to see this field split a little bit. I didn't want to attack. I really didn't want to attack. Sit on, let Pagachu go. That could follow him. He's not the one I'm thinking about, though. It's 4K to go. Set these guys to auto. Definitely seeing the race shake up. Okay, Schachman, Cepeda going backwards. Burlikov. 3 off the front. 3K to go.
Adam Yates is off.
And see how quickly we can make up some ground as a strong climber, but who can we truly catch at this point? The Plus we caught. That's our 3 guys. That's our 3 leaders that we're trying to chase, but we don't have the energy left to continue on 1.5K. Remember, we are so low on resistance. It's 16 chasing 3. Burlikov, what's going on here? Why are you suddenly drifting back? Because Higuita's trying to attack.
A solo victory for Adam
Yates takes the stage. This is going to bump us down.
We're waiting
We
for the
were only
tail
6th
enders who
anyway.
continue to arrive.
Sprint it out, Burlikov. He'll have 6th on the stage again, looks like. Maybe 7th. Hagita, okay. But top 10 again. So we're good. This should move us into the top 5. We're going to see the times really, really change on this one. Nance Peters was well down the order. He wasn't high placed last time. So he's not a big threat. I don't know where Adam Yates was previously. Guerrero wasn't around. Hagita wasn't around. So Hagita might have been. Trying to remember kind of where these guys were placed on that previous stage. But I think realistically, Burlikov should be moving at least into the top 5. Don't know about a podium. The gap to those 3 was not massive, but it was a bit of a gap. And that's that lack of resistance. A minute down. How's it looking? 5th place. There you go. 5th place. Pogacar, Lopez, Yates, top 3. Hagita, Burlikov into 5th. You know, it's not the top 3, but top 5 is only a partial failure. It's at least not max failure. And honestly, for the UAE Tour, I didn't expect to necessarily be here. Yes, Burlikov has that mountain rating, but he doesn't have the resistance to go with it. So right now, for Burlikov to be successful, a couple things have to happen. One, he needs race day condition bonus, meaning he needs some sort of boost to his resistance to hang in there. And then he can certainly climb with the best if he has that. Majority of them, anyway. Second thing he needs is strong team support. Here you see today, the other teams, they push, right? We went and set that tempo for the first few K at steady, but, you know, not an easy tempo at all. And then the other teams just started bursting past us. They have a better support cast than what I have right now. We have one guy starting to emerge as pretty strong. And we have one guy in support of him in Martin Guerrero who's pretty strong. Martin Guerrero entered the day in 3rd place. He finished in 23rd. He lost 20 positions overall in the standings. And yes, we ended up sacrificing him for Burlikov, but any smart manager would do the same thing. But he shouldn't have slipped that far down. And that's just because he's really not there yet. He's our only decent support climber. But he's not a good number 2. Not for World Tour. For Continental Pro, yeah, he's great. He's almost better than Burlikov, and we just saw in that previous race a couple episodes ago that he ended up becoming the de facto leader because he was well placed with race day condition on the right day. And then we had a time trial, and that's his strength. Burlikov's definitely not there on the time trialing at this point. He's just a climber. Anyway, I think all things considered, that's a good result because he's really lacking in those 2 areas. Team support, getting better, but, you know, a bunch of 73, 74 mountain is not good compared to World Tour. And then he himself has no resistance, as we saw here. We tried to set a tempo that others couldn't keep up with, and he did it for 500 meters and dropped nobody. And then the moment we said, okay, well, Pogacar, you're the strong man. Why don't you take over? Pogacar just attacked, and off he went. Burlikov doesn't have the resistance to do an attack. If he attacks, all of his bar, poof, gone in a flash, in an instant. He has to be a steady climber based on his attribute breakdown. So hands are tied. He's still limited. He can climb, but it's circumstantial. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. These standings will not change over the last 2 stages, so that will be a 5th place, which is a fair result. It's a good result, but the team expected a top 3. But like I said, it was the last of the unreasonable objectives, but it was the first of some major objectives, 4 in a row. After that, we're pretty much done with our objectives. So we have 3 left to go, and the next 3 are all a bit more achievable than this one is, so we'll see what we can do. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.